we work as if everything depends on us, but we trust everything depends on God or whatever you want to allocate to that spot. So it's the tension is in the middle and understanding that. The principle is there is the only thing we can control is ourselves. So we're going to do our best to show up as parents to the best of our ability and not impose our shit and our poor programming on our children, right? Which is easier said than done. And then to create and maintain relationship or connection that allows them to be open and honest with us. So we're not part of the problem. And unfortunately, most of humanity still operates in a form of shame and punishment that involves removing love as a way to communicate displeasure. And it takes an awakened being to keep your heart open, even in pain. But ultimately, change will happen in this world when we stop shaming people and judging people into change. Because we all know shame and judgment do not work to drive behavior long term. And teaching someone to disconnect and to remove their love and connection from someone that they are unhappy with perpetuates this cycle. It isn't solving problems, it's just compounding them. And anybody who's had a meaningful conversation with someone that you knew that they were perhaps disappointed in your action, they were hurt by something you did, but they had the courage to keep their heart open and continually lean into connection to understand, changes the entire equation of the conversation. Now, what am I not saying? I'm not saying you stay in an abusive relationship with somebody who is toxic. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that means that you continue to go back to relationships that are dysfunctional. Healthy boundaries are important. All of that is possible. It is possible to create boundaries. It's possible to remove yourself from negative situations and still keep your heart open. And I think the perfect example of this, or one of them that comes to mind, is Christ. He was being nailed to a bloody cross. And because he cared about connection more than anything else, he made eye contact with and had a moment of connection with the Roman soldier, Roman centurion that was nailing his hands to the cross. And the story goes, as much as the Bible refers, he dropped the hammer and walked away because he was so blown away with, I'm literally nailing you to a cross in an effort to kill you, ultimately, in suffering. And you are so concerned with connecting with me that it rocked him to his core. And whether this is true or not, the legend part of this goes on to say that man went on to be Saint Germain, the great healer. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. But that moment of connection changed that Roman centurion's life so much that he dropped the hammer and walked away. Like, I don't know what to do with this dude. Like, in the moment of his greatest suffering, he's more concerned with connecting with me. And so to me, that's the great act. Like, how do we learn to keep our heart open even in those moments? Right? How do we learn to live from our heart even in those moments? Because especially in Western society, we've learned to do the exact opposite. Most people live up here. And as a coach, a teacher, I can see it when I'm talking to somebody. If all their energy's up here, I can literally see, it's like their heart is so disconnected from where they're speaking from and where they're thinking. And all of our power, going back to the identity gap, is connecting brain and heart. When we get those two aligned, now you have the power to create in the world. And so I think teaching our children that by modeling it, how even when I'm unhappy, perhaps with something you've done, or I'm disappointed, if we use those phrases, I still keep my heart open. I do not remove love and connection from you. It's hard because gut reaction, most of us are trained to do the exact opposite.